It's a beautiful night in Tampa, John. 88 degrees. There's a lot of fans here, obviously not coming to hear us. They're coming to watch their Bucs play. Justin Fields starts at quarterback for the Kansas City Chiefs, who was in New Jersey with Jets last year. They got a pretty good quarterback competition behind him, Garrett Nussmeier, who we'll talk about a little bit later in this game. But this is a team, John, that was 6-11 last year, first losing season in Mahomes' era. And they're trying to get their season back on track now.
Throughout training camp, this is going to be a big addition for this Buccaneer defense. Keep an eye on number 3. He can play outside. He can also go inside over the guard in some passing situations.
Chiefs come out with 2 tight ends, 1 back. Kenneth Walker, their free agent addition, Super Bowl MVP, is in the backfield, John. And he's got nowhere to go. I tell you what, last week against the New York Jets, Bucs corner struggled tackling a little bit. I did not know that Zion McCollum was going to play. He didn't practice most of the week, but he's back. And this is one of the things he does really, really well.
Well, you know better than anybody, that is not easy to do. Kenneth Walker, arguably the biggest offseason acquisition in the AFC West, in the open field. McCollum takes him to the ground with ease. 3rd down and 7. Let's keep an eye at the bottom of the screen. Ruben Bain. Let's see him get after the passer.
Well done by Bucs defense there, John. Look, they had man-to-man defense. We know that because Zion McCollum came in motion on that crosser. Keontae Scott, who was in the starting nickel role for this Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Keontae Scott making his presence felt.
Chiefs go back to cut. Cameron Johnson, who's been hurt most of preseason, is your returner to start this game. All right, John, let's take a quick look at your keys to the game.
On his game day communication with Baker Mayfield. That's going to be big. And I think Todd Bowles wants to feature some of his young guys against good competition. So expect the Bucs to sub early, and I'm really anxious to see Jalen Daniels at quarterback.
Bucky Irvin's in the backfield here, though, John. And no K-Dot tonight. There's somewhat of a competition at tight end, so we'll get to talk about that later. But, of course, they're going to hand the ball off to Bucky Irvin, off to the right side, and 4 or 5 yards. Let's talk about Bucky real quick. Bucky had a little bit of a down year last year. He missed those games. Comes into the offseason, looks healthier, looks happier. He has Kenneth Gainwell in the backfield. What do you think about their situation at running back?
I think it's exciting. He's 10 pounds heavier. He looks stronger. He only averaged 3.4 yards a carry. But what really excites Bucky, I think, is the return of a healthy offensive line. He's going to have the heck of a year.
Speaking of that offensive line, no Tristan Wirfs tonight. There's a second handoff to Bucky Irving, off to the right side, and gets his first down. Paul Rubelt. He's the international player for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. He's starting at left tackle. But here's this inside zone run. Bucky Irving does one thing as good as anybody, and that's that jump cut, right, Coach?
He really does. His feet are always alive in the hole. He's got great vision, and I love his size. He can hide behind the offensive line, and he really does a great job finishing runs. But there's Rubelt, the left tackle. Keep an eye on him. He's our 4th string left tackle protecting Mayfield.
Which makes you think they might run the ball 3 times in a row here. To the right.
Wow.
And the reason if you're a Bucs fan at home, you're going, why are they running the same run to the right? Well, the other offensive tackle is really good on the right side. Luke Gedeke just signed a $90 million contract to be the bookend to Tristan Wirfs on the other side. And there's Zach Robinson, Coach. You have a little bit of insight on what he's going to try to do on offense this year. We won't see a lot of it today or in the preseason, but you like what he has going.
I do. He falls off the Sean McVay tree. And here's our first look at Kenny Gainwell. He used 2 different running backs extremely well in Atlanta. Bijan Robinson, Tyler Algier, and I'm sure he has a similar plan with these 2 backs. But you said it, Rondé, a lot of runs. The Buccaneers clearly working on their substitution. They're going to 2 tight end sets. They're getting to their 3 wide receiver looks, but they're not.
Self-inflicted wounds, if you will. He will not be very happy with Ted Hurst on that particular play. You know, third and possible. What do you call it here? Baker Mayfield, you're not letting him drop back.
This is going to be a screen or a draw, but you said it. Young receivers, he's got to take advantage of this playing time with McMillan out, Godwin is out, Abuka's out. Not a good start for Hurst.
Baker Mayfield in second. King Gainwell again. Richard back. Screen. It's Cameron Johnson. Cameron Johnson coaches a guy, much like Ted Johnson last year for the Bucs, who could play that role. And neither one of those guys have been practicing much lately. It's good to see Cameron Johnson on the field because he's one of the guys a couple of years ago who we were enamored with. And then he was hurt for the most part for the rest of the year. So seeing him getting some game time here in the preseason game 2 is a good thing.
I know they're counting on him in the punt return game. They need him to have a good finish to training camp.
Riley Dixon on the punt. Riley Dixon had an up and down game last week against the Jets. He booms this one all the way down inside the 20-yard line. Nico Maruvio on return, and another flag comes in here before we go to break. I'm pretty sure this is going to be some sort of holding on the Kansas City Chiefs.
These referees, they're in training camp mode.
Holding, receiving team, number 30. 10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul.
Brad Allen's one
First
of the
down,
difference. Been to
Kansas
5 or
City.
6 playoff
Timeout.
appearances. He's been around a long time.
Relationship with any of them, Rondé.
Raymond James Stadium. Ricardo is in it, running back for the Kansas City Chiefs. Also out on that field is Travis Kelce. There's the pressure from Tyke Smith off the corner, and we always know, and it was interesting. It was so interesting talking to Todd Bowles the other day when he was talking about blitzing off the corner against the Kansas City Chiefs. He said he liked to do it just to let them know that it's there. Tyke Smith had a great season last year for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Great season. He can do a lot of things, and I am shocked Kansas City did not see that on the end of line. They're missing their starting left tackle as well. That was a big mistake.
There is one question about Kansas City Chiefs going into this season. It is their offensive line. When Mahomes comes back, they will need to have that figured out. Pass quick off to the right, and Jacob Parrish with the quick tackle. Jacob Parrish coaches a guy that I think by default, because of the injury to Benjamin Morrison, is going to be the starting corner for your Tampa Bay Buccaneers this season.
I think he's beaten everybody out. I think he's the toughest corner we have. He played in the nickel last year. He played in the slot. 72 tackles, 2 sacks. I'd like to see him play a little bit more press coverage, especially on these third and medium situations. Keep an eye at the top of the screen on number 25. Let's see him go get this Kansas City Chief receiver.
You asked for it, and there it is. He's up at the line of scrimmage. You get the zoom motion, clearly in some sort of match defense. But you know Todd Bowles, he likes to pop out his rushers and then bring only 4, and that's exactly what it does. Confuses Justin Fields. He passes to nobody. Ruben Bain with the injury.
Look at this right here on this inside move. You know, you got to have a factor grade. Forget about all the sacks, all the tackles for loss. You got to hit the quarterback. You got to make your presence felt. Another 3 and out by this Buccaneer defense. I love it.
Todd Bowles said this is the deepest rush room. Just imagine the things that you could do on defense when you have that many rushers. Cam Johnson again back to return the punt for the Buccaneers. This guy's electric when he gets the ball in the hand, and that's exactly what he's trying to show here. Trying to get to the edge. Too many white shirts, though. I think he's just going to run out of bounds. But all in all, another positive play for this Bucs defense. 2 3 and outs. Gets the ball back for Baker Mayfield in this offense. In the backfield. An actual pass from Baker Mayfield. Finds David Sills. Not able to complete that. David Sills has been out for a little bit in training camp. I want to take a quick look on the other side of the ball, though. We like talking about first-round draft picks. We talked about Ruben Bain. How about Mansour Delane out of LSU?
How about him? I mean, they traded up. They gave up a lot to get him. He's got to replace Trent McDuffie, Jalen Watson. They both went to the Rams, both starting corners. So they need this youngster out of Virginia Tech / LSU to play big for the Chiefs.
Still side settle for Kenny Gainwell. Oh, this is a tackle into the flat, but Look, the Kansas City Chiefs, coach, they're in a transition phase right now, especially on defense. Steve Spagnuolo, their defensive coordinators, Andy Reid, their defensive coordinator, Steve Spagnuolo, is trying to replace 6 starters on defense. They still have Chris Jones up front. They brought back L'Jarius Sneed, but he is not the same player that he once was. You look at this defense, it's a completely different operation for the Kansas City Chiefs now.
Indeed, and their other first-round pick, Peter Woods, is lining up over the right guard, number 99. They're expecting him to play opposite Chris Jones. Yeah.
I think that was an incomplete pass, but
you said it earlier, Rondé. They're going to run the ball, throw some quick passes, and obviously Kansas City is expecting that with the depleted left tackle position. But this is just good football by Kansas City. Recognizing a quick drop, get your hands up if you can't get there. And that's our Mason Thomas, his second-round pick out of Oakland.
Dixon again with the kick, and Cyrus Allen back to receive. Also a flag on the play already, and good coverage by this Buccaneers special teams unit. Last week, Danny Smith was not satisfied. David Sills, who just missed that completion a couple of snaps ago, on with the tackle. Let's see what Brad Allen has to say here.
Boy, if this is on the Chiefs, this is going to kill Andy Reid. They had way too many penalties last year. They had 12 last week, and this looks like it might be the second special teams penalty already.
Second one that's going to back them inside the 20-yard line.
I like these conferences. I always wondered what's going on in these conferences.
Well,
did it upset you at all?
You know, special teams guys, the young guys trying to make the team also don't always know the rules. There's a flag down here. There's a flag also on the sideline, and if a Bucs player runs out of bounds untouched, then the only reason you think that is because he does not have his hat on. And that's usually an indication that somebody is participating illegal. I think that illegally, that's what the call will be if we are correct here.
Looks like it could be multiple flags.
Well, they're talking long enough for it to be multiple. Yeah. It better be multiple flags. I would have loved for him to say that instead of, what do we got, Brad Allen? Holding on the receiving team. Was there also holding on the return or the kicking team? We'll figure it out when we come back. Let's go to break. Todd Bowles does not look happy though, so I think I know. There was holding on both teams. There was legal hands to the face. I think he was declined. But all in all, Riley Dixon comes back out. He's going to punt again.
I like this Riley Dixon. We used to talk about punting the ball between the numbers and the sideline. You don't want to kick the ball in the middle of the field. Let's see Dixon pin this return.
11th year out of Syracuse. Actually knew this kid way back in the day. He used to visit him down in South Florida with his family. Great coverage. Unit again. Danny Smith will be excessively happy that his coverage units are playing this well today. Last week was not what he wanted in his debut with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Riley Dixon didn't have the kicks that he wanted, and there look at him chomping on that gum, dude.
I coached with Danny. I coached with him way back in Philadelphia. I used to walk out on the field, look for a stick of gum, but they were all in his pocket. He's a heck of a coach. Fiery guy, 72 years old, and you would not know it.
Oh, DiMercato is the running back again in the backfield here, Coach. Bucs have changed out most of their defensive starters and got their second unit in. And this is a good opportunity to talk about Vita Vea. We haven't really done it yet. We let Jeff give the intro, but Vita, long hold in with the Bucs during training camp. The one reason that I do agree with him is that when he's in the game, nobody runs the ball against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
No, statistics prove it, Rondé. Almost 1 full yard more per attempt when he's off the field. So some of these young defensive tackles, they got to pick it up.
False start. Offense, number 70. 5-yard penalty.
This is
second down.
You know, Kansas City's got a new offensive coordinator, too. Eric Bieniemy's here. And Andy Reid is not happy with these penalties. They had way too many last week. It was ridiculous. They've got an issue at right tackle. Benson is playing right tackle right now. He's a rookie from Indiana. They're moving Jalen Moore inside. Their left tackle, Josh Simmons, is out. But Andy Reid, he's been in too many good football locker rooms to tolerate much more of this penalty.
Yeah, Creed Humphrey is the only holdover, the one that you can count on Pro Bowl last year. Down and distance, brought to you by Advent Health Institute Hospital of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Quick completion.
There's your guy, Wisdom, Rondé. Rashad Wisdom, number 38. Not the tallest safety. He started about 55 games at Texas San Antonio, but he's been playing as the personal protector on special teams. He's competing to become the third safety. But here's a 3rd down and 4. Muhammad at the top of the screen, the ex-Detroit Lion who had 11 sacks. Let's see if he can generate some pressure at the top of the screen.
The Chiefs had 0 first downs going into that play, and that's their first run of the day out to DeMarcado in the flat. You mentioned Al-Quadin Muhammad. Not going to get a chance to see him here, but this is what Justin Fields is really good at. The short intermediate passes. As you think about him as a quarterback, as a backup quarterback for this Kansas City Chiefs team, he's yet to hold on to a job as a starter in the NFL. But I do think his traits give him some value as a backup to Patrick Mahomes when he gets back from his injury. 1st and 10 again. Got a good look here. Bucs having to deal with this running game of Kansas City, and much like the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, I think that is going to be the game plan today for Kansas City. Test this Bucs defense on the ground. We saw what happened in the first 2 series, 3 and out, but now that these backups are in, you can see that they're getting a little more traction.
Yeah, and I like visiting with Todd Bowles the other day. I think he's back in his routine, Rondé. He trusts the offense, the direction they're heading. He's back into his study routine, and he's taking full control of this defense, and so far it has really showed tonight.
DeMarcado off right again. But Cade Fordham, this is the kid you've been talking about. You've been talking about him all week, John. Cade Fordham, rookie out of NC State, free agent, undersized, clearly a special teams type of guy for this team. Did you see how fast he read that run read inside zone? He's making a tackle in the backfield. Great job by him setting up a 3rd and short here.
Very instinctive player. Over 140 tackles at North Carolina State. His dad played in the league. He's going to be a hard guy to not keep around here. The longer he stays, the more you like him.
Chiefs go 3 up top, tight end at the bottom. Great pressure.
Boy, Anthony Nelson got off, and he beat the rookie right tackle with ease.
Add another guy to the rotation here. Barely even touched him.
That's length, long arms. He's got a huge wingspan, and Todd Bowles said it. He has not had this kind of edge rushers since Shaq Barrett and JPP the year they won the Super Bowl, Rondé.
Yeah,
they've got a number of different guys now that can really heat you up.
Diaby, Bain, Al-Quadin Muhammad. And you look at Anthony Nelson.
The penalty is declined. It brings up 4th down.
David Walker, who's coming back from a lost season a year ago. That's 5 guys you're just talking about, and that's not even including Chris Braswell and Jack New York Jets. So this is a room that feels very secure going into 2026 as opposed to the previous seasons.
Yeah, you don't have to blitz all the time. It's a luxury that we had when we had those great defenses. If you can get there with 4, you can play multiple coverages.
Uriza back to kick again to Cam Johnson. Got plenty of room back inside the 5-yard line. I don't know if you're supposed to take it in there, but he does. He makes a guy miss and he gets to the edge. There's Cam Johnson that we know.
Yeah.
That's the guy you love. Gives
Been
Bucs
studying tape,
good
Rondé.
field position. I think